KSI!
Yes, love him or hate him, it's been pretty hard to avoid KSI recently with the whole Logan Paul boxing match thing. So I thought this would be a good time to do a video on KSI, or JJ as his fans and mates call him. Have a look at his channel and his evolution up to this point. Probably not in too much detail though, because it seems recently the more effort I put into a video, the less views it gets. But also because I simply can't be fucked. Also, I have a feeling that the majority of my viewership hates KSI's guts, so it's a little embarrassing to admit that I'm still subscribed to him currently. But if it helps, I don't think he's made a decent video in about 4 months now. So if he keeps up with the fake beefs and the boring boxing videos, then I will be unsubbing soon. But I can't help sticking around just in case his videos start to improve again, because, you know, it's hard to leave a channel behind when they made some of the funniest shit ever back in the day. And what a lot of the haters probably don't understand is that unlike Logan Paul, who's been making shitty vlogs since day one, KSI used to be a very different content creator. This is probably close to what his channel looked like when I first started watching his stuff. He shortened the channel name after a while, but back then he was KSI Olajide BT, the #1 channel for FIFA related content. Behind legendary series like Race to Division 1 and FIFA Funnies. By the time I discovered him, he'd also branched out into more real-life content and skits, as well as regular Q&As. But my favourites have always been the Pro Clubs videos, which is basically just constant shit talking while trying to play online FIFA with a bunch of mates.
You're the reason I hate black people.
Good day, good day.
I still find myself rewatching those videos sometimes. Can't say that about some of his other classic videos though, now that I've grown up.
Oh yeah, I know. You can whip me up a sandwich in the kitchen, because that's where you belong, bitch!
After all, he started kicking on back when the trend amongst gaming YouTubers was basically loud and random equals funny.
Oh, god damn it.
Then he started his YouTube crew called The Sidemen with some of these Pro Clubs buddies, and I started to follow some of them closely as well. And yeah, I still watch some of their stuff, though I'll happily admit that it's definitely a mixed bag. But I'll maintain that some of their collaborative videos where they get to fuck about with each other, like in online games, football challenges, or other real life stuff, are still decent videos. Sure, they're immature, but what isn't on YouTube these days, huh?
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Your mother's a whore. Like a filthy whore.
Like KSI, the rest of the Sidemen's videos generally aren't as good as they used to be, but JJ's decline over the past few years has been massive. But he still managed to build on his popularity. So because he's still successful, you can't really ask what went wrong. More something like, what's changed? Well, for starters, he stopped giving a shit about FIFA. Since about 2 years ago, anything resembling his old videos was pretty much gone. And most of these videos were pack openings where you pay for the chance to get some of the highest rated players in FIFA. But when you do these videos and then don't do any videos of you actually playing matches of FIFA, it kind of defeats the point. Then by the looks of it, he only uploaded about 5 or 6 videos related to FIFA 17. And there you go, the game series that had built the foundation of his channel and his success is now dead to him. Meanwhile, 2 years ago, he also decided to pursue his dream of being a rapper, which there's nothing wrong with really, because he wanted to do that for a long time, and some of his early stuff might have been immature. La Lamborghini. But I don't think he's the most untalented rapper out there. Plus, even his newer songs feel less douchey than anything by Rice Gum or the Pauls. But this is probably the first time he started to drift away from the content that brought the old school fans to his channel. And this is probably the kind of stuff that started to attract the much younger fans, which are now the majority of his fan base. Also, his personality seemed to drastically change the more popular he got. In some of his classic FIFA videos, he presented himself as one of the world's best players and pretended to be a cunt for laughs. But after a while, that arrogant character seemed to seep into his real life personality. Hey guys, I bought a Lamborghini. Did you know that I bought a Lamborghini? Here's a song about me, driving my Lamborghini. Oh yeah, that's right, I bought a Lamborghini. Did you know that I bought a Lamborghini? Yep, he started flexing. Not quite on the level of Rice Gum being like, hey kid, I'm richer than you and I'm better than you, subscribe. But it's still technically flexing, isn't it? He got mad at people for illegally downloading his shitty straight-to-DVD movie co-starring Casper Lee.
Stop pirating the fucking movie!
Despite, of course, being a hypocrite. At least he accepted that and rolled with it not long after.
I'm a pirate.
Do what you want, cause a pirate is free. You are a pirate.
Then there was constantly talking shit about PewDiePie, probably because he was jealous. That helped contribute to that period when drama was the big thing on YouTube for a while. I don't even remember half of the shit that happened back then, but I don't want to be reminded. Those were dark fucking days.
There was a lot of things said and a lot of things done. First of all, I want to say my intentions were never to offend anyone who deals with depression. I just got heated in the moment.
I would like to see you get out of this one at PewDiePie, in before all his deluded fans say he didn't say the M-word on stream today. It's almost like he was in the moment, it was heated, and he accidentally said something that offends people.
Then his channel went dark in 2017 when he privated most of his classic videos and deleted all of his social media posts, finally returning 4 months later claiming that he'd been
Doing a lot of learning.
What did he learn? No one really knows. Doesn't really matter anyway because it just seemed to be a strategy to promote another fucking EP. And shortly after that he announced he was leaving the Sidemen, and while doing so called his mate Ethan a fat bastard. Personally I would have focused more on the fact that his channel name was inspired by the fucking Big Bang Theory. And also that was around the time that every YouTuber and their dog was making diss tracks, and I thought fucking YouTube drama was the low point of the site. So Ethan and JJ started dissing each other, and the rest of the Sidemen started doing diss tracks as well after his brother Deji, the coattail riding Jake to KSI's Logan, went after some of them. Now some of these were admittedly not too bad because they had some self-awareness and weren't really serious attacks at all.
I got your mum twerking for my rupees!
But sadly, JJ, Ethan and Deji's diss tracks were all completely serious, over a beef that anyone with 10% of a brain could see was completely manufactured. By the way, during this whole beef, KSI left for America and stayed with fucking Rice Scum.
Are you fat? Are you pregnant?
And then, oh, what a surprise, he rejoined the Sidemen, and everything was happy. Oh wait, he started a new beef this time with Net Nobody, another former gaming YouTuber turned musician. This led to a series of unlikely events, where Net Nobody, aka Adam, leaked a fake unfinished diss track to throw KSI off. Then JJ supposedly flew Adam's ex-wife in for his music video to spite him, and then Adam rejoiced and revealed that he'd orchestrated all of this so he could get sole custody of his and his ex's child. Now, Net Nobody does seem much more genuine to me than KSI is now, but I still strongly doubt that this wasn't done for views and that everything just happened to fall into place. I mean, how could he even be 100% sure that his initial tweets at KSI would start a beef in the first place? Sorry Adam, it's awesome in theory, but I don't believe you either. And then we reach his current boxing phase, which started against Joe Weller, with, surprise surprise, more fake beefing. So yep, there lies the biggest problem with KSI. He just fakes everything. It's at the point where I even feel like his personality in these more recent videos is fake, because in the various Sidemen group videos that he appears in, most of the time he just seems like another one of the guys, joking around like the rest of them.
What does a Mexican put under his carpet? Underlay, underlay!
And you basically can't see any of the arrogance in his personal videos at all. And keep in mind that when he started on YouTube, he was a nerdy introvert. Then, merely 2 to 3 years later, he appears to have turned into a muscular ladies' man with a god complex. Now, I don't think introversion is something that just magically goes away if you start hanging out with people more. That's like saying to someone with depression, why don't you just stop being sad? So personally, I think that his sudden brashness and ego is just another part of boosting his self-esteem, like his visual makeover. But more importantly, it seems to have allowed him to gain and build on this new, younger audience. And now we're at the present with the Logan Paul boxing match. The stuff around the Joe Weller boxing match was at least a step up from the diss track shit, but this I think is his new low point. Paying to stream a bunch of amateur boxers where the main match ended as a draw, likely meaning this whole fiasco is gonna happen again soon. But I'll personally avoid the idea of the result being predetermined, because I've seen some online comments saying that a draw was a fair result to people who are more familiar with boxing, but more importantly, because I don't give two flying fucks. Just associating himself with this mop head who acts like he's in a 2018 remake of the Tom Hanks movie Big is bad enough. But that's definitely not the worst part of this whole thing. It's the fact that, yet again, he's manufacturing beef between him and Logan, when you could be on the moon looking through a telescope and still clearly see that the two of them and their friends and management teams are organising every single little detail surrounding this event. But honestly, I can't really begrudge him for doing this whole thing. I guess he thought of the old saying, if you can't beat them, join them, allowing his channel to grow even more than if he just did constant Paul Brothers roasts. So the more I think about it, the more I gotta hand it to him for this smart business move, since YouTube is his business after all. The obvious scripted elements of it are pretty excruciating, but that's not exactly an immoral thing to do, is it? It's not some disturbing Spider-Man and Elsa child exploitation type shit. It's just acting for the sake of their entertainment. And Logan isn't literally Hitler, is he? I mean, he possibly shouldn't even have a channel anymore after the Suicide Forest incident, but there's probably two sides to that discussion. Anyway, it seems like he's had a fairly clean slate since he tased that dead rat, at least in terms of overly disturbing incidents. But obviously I haven't been following him close enough to know how shit he's been in the past few months. I'm definitely not defending Logan Paul and his content here. He's still an absolute wank stain, but I believe he still has the right to take part in this. And KSI has the right to as well. And you can complain about the whole thing, but I'm pretty sure even some people who aren't fans of either of the two streamed the match. Some of them might have even paid for it too. That's exactly what they wanted from this, and they got it. And I just have to commend them for it, really. So my general view on KSI LGBT, JJ, fuckwit, whatever you want to call him, is that as a person, away from the camera, he's probably still a fairly decent guy. A guy that makes mistakes like all of us. Hell, I doubt Logan Paul is as obnoxious in real life as he is in his videos. It's just that his mistakes are a lot worse. KSI has forged his own path, which he has every right to do. And while he's clearly aiming for the route that gets him the most attention and views, he still has the right to do that as well. But mate, your videos are bloody shit now. Not to mention you've also alienated your original core fan base for years now. But I'm 100% sure that you know that, and I'm also pretty sure that you do not give a single fuck about that anymore. So I do agree with the haters, he is shit. But personally, I don't think he's as shit as lots of people make him out to be. So what did you think about what I said in this video? Did you agree? Or do you think I'm biased because I'm a long-time fan of his channel? Let me know in the comments, and if you just want to see some videos shitting on the Sidemen, then I have a couple of those that will be linked on the end screen. Thanks for watching.
Ethan, you stinky nonce! Why don't you stinky nonce? Who gassed you up, you stinky nonce? JJ, you stinky nonce! Logan, you stinky nonce! And I'm a stinky nonce! The boxing skills are not gonna get you far. I saw Nissan Gibb nearly beat you in a spar. He's a stinky nonce. He's not low.